How's it going, everybody? It's been a little while since I've done a video. I've been really busy with work. Work is priority number one in my life, that and my family. So, when it comes down to getting work on the car, I do it in my spare time, and, videos just hadn't been a thing I've had a chance to do. So I thought I'd give a little update on what all's went on since the end of last season. The car definitely made some changes. The actual power plant itself is the same, still is a B18C1. It's an original GSR motor with, Pro 1 cams, skunk valve train, turbo tough Manley I-beam rods, and JE pistons, that are designed for turbocharged applications with upgraded wrist pins, twin disc clutch, et cetera, et cetera. Biggest changes we made is, well, I was really excited to do this. Most everybody that knows or follows my social media knows exactly what I've done on this car, but we decided to go the ECU route. And what we done, and I'm gonna start by showing you what we was running on this car, which a lot of people have no idea. And you'll get an idea of the changes I made are definitely gonna be beneficial for consistency, just reliability, and to make more power overall. So basically, this is what I was running. It was a OEM, our stock computer, like a P28. We went through and just recapped it, and then put a socket in it. And then I'm running an external ostrich with the emulator. So basically, I was running EC-Tune, which is a very old software. It actually worked very well. It's very similar to Honda. If anybody knows Honda, of course, it's a very similar setup. But I was running a stock computer. This car ran a best last season, ran 2 passes. I was happy. We didn't want to push the car. Needed some tuning for the top boost. And just didn't want to push anymore. But it ran back-to-back 9.7 passes at 150 or just over 150 miles per hour. So I was very happy with that. Had a little more room to 60 foot. It was like a 168, 60 foot. So this car's done mid 1.5, 60 foot. So definitely has a lot of room for improvement. And so now we went from that to, we'll just open this computer, and let's open up here. While that's doing that, there you go. We have went to the Halltech Elite 2500. So the 2500, a lot of people wonder why I went so big on the system. Well, I don't want to have to go back. I had my battery shut off, so let's load this guy up, and you kind of see what we're dealing with here. This thing is full of information. It's amazing, honestly, the amount of information you get with the Halltech Elite system. It's phenomenal. The amount of control you get is phenomenal, and the amount of accuracy is phenomenal. So going from something like a Honda, and you see these guys, like Humble Performance is one of the companies that's always doing videos on Halltech, and buying a Honda comparison to buying Halltech, for a budget build, smart. The amount of control you get with a brand new computer, not a 30-year-old modified, ticking time bomb, I guess you can say, with a computer, because you don't know when they're going to fail. It's just smart decision. So this thing monitors everything, and we went to the point of monitoring oil pressure, coolant pressure, fuel pressure, exhaust manifold pressure, upgraded all the sensors on the car to stuff that is actually a lot more real time and way more accurate than the original OEM. And the displays in these things, you can customize any display you want, how you want it. So I'm going to get rid of this, and this is some of my tuning stuff. As you can see, you go through fuel tuning. We're going to go through, show you kind of how the base maps look like, and then just get rid of that page, full screen it, so you got a 3-dimensional chart over here. And then you can get in stuff like when I go to the dyno tuning, I'll flip over this page. So all I can do is monitor the tach and my wideband, and then you got your oil pressure in case anything goes wrong. And this is the target wideband. So I put my target in per cell that I want, and then of course just make sure they're not getting too far off. So I got the main wideband in wide, just huge print here. So that's the only thing I focus on when I'm dyno tuning or street tuning, is that wideband number. And then of course I always have this for reference when I do my playback or real time. And then I even have like a track mode. So that way I have my RPM, wideband, boost pressure, and then I even created my own little shift light. So, and I don't have it up there right now, but right there you see the mount. I've actually got a 10-inch tablet that goes up there, so when I'm, in the car, I can actually see it just like a dash would be in the car, because I do not have the, the dash yet. So, either way, the Halltech is phenomenal. It's doing great. Have not put it on the dyno, but really don't have to. This thing they're so advanced for auto learning that, like I say, the dyno's not a must. It is definitely a tuning tool. It is definitely, preferred. But, I've been able to street tune this car so well that I've got it pretty dialed in. And you see, upgraded the intake temperature sensor for the air intake here. Monitoring fuel pressure. Of course, I got my key on, so boost show noise lock, for tuning mode right now. Exhaust back pressure sensor, which comes down and, welds into the exhaust manifold. Upgraded the coolant, we got a coolant pressure sensor here. Upgraded the coolant temperature sensors. Upgraded to some new coils. Built my own harness for this car. I actually decided to buy the ECU, buy just a universal harness, and I custom built my own harness. As you see, everything is, wrapped with the braided wrap. Tried to take my time and do this right. During COVID, I had a week of sitting in the living room, not moving, and gave me something to tinker with, and I built my harness during that time. So far, the car has run phenomenal. I can't thank the guys at Halltech enough, as well as Eric Jarvis with Mad Scientist Auto. We work out a deal for this system. He's a big Halltech dealer. And then, like I say, the guys up at Halltech have been just phenomenal to work with. They got some of the best tech support you can ever ask for. Tickled to death with that. But goes with this car, I just want a weekend car that I can go out and have fun, reliable. But, everybody knows I want this car to go a high 8. I never thought I would say that. I was tickled to death just having a 10-second car. And then, I was able to push this thing down into the 9s. It's definitely, even with the stock computer, had more to go, and I could have went faster. But here I am talking about going to the 8. And I am not a real-time racer. I am not one of these guys you're going to see on YouTube videos, at these big races. I am just a weekend warrior, go out, have fun, and just to try to inspire some of the other guys like me that try to do this in their own garages. And this is my own garage. I don't have a shop. I go out and work my tail off every day so I can do stuff like this on the side. But anyway, that's enough about my car. The other thing I did, you see here, I got rid of my distributor and went with a T-wing cam trigger. So the way these things work, I have 12 individual magnets around these things. And then they have a magnet at the very end, or a reset procedure. So what it does 12 pulse count and then a reset count. So it knows every revolution of the motor way more accurately than a stock, distributor or pickup could. So you're getting way better idle, way better, and more accurate firing, especially if you get into a high horsepower car. Something like this is a must, and it's a decision, outside of that, it was smart to make, and I did do that. So let me get this camera away from that boost show noise, which is probably irritating, and then I'm going to show you one more thing and give you an update on the next project we'd had. Oh, they also got rid of some cheap wastegates and actually upgraded to some nice tile 44mm, which was a much needed thing as well. Here, I'm going to go on to the next project here and show you what we've been working on over here. So a lot of you also know I've been working on this car. This is for one of my best friends. I got him into the import racing this last season, and it took us most of the year. A lot of it due to, parts, having problem getting parts, some random other things, delays on parts. So we didn't get the car done to the very end of the year, and, it's still got a lot of ways to go. But this is our epoxy block build. So this has actually got my old turbo setup on it, which is a PLM manifold, a Rev 9 66, 62 turbo, and it has got a set of CP pistons, mainly H-beam rods, Bosch 2260 injectors, twin disc clutch, and the car has performed very, very well so far. It's got a set of tuner 1 cams in it, I believe, which are kind of the similar cams to like a Civic Type R or something like that. Car made just over 500 horsepower on the dyno. Dyno that day was having little issues, so I was having to do 3rd gear tuning, and it was started blowing the tires. So I had it close enough. I could go ahead and just keep on working on it at the track and turn it up a little more at the track. So the owner of the car is new to the front wheel drive racing, new to actually racing with a clutch. You know, it's always been, you know, line lock, release a button, go type thing, or drop the clutch, or drop the, you know, just let off the brake and go. So it is a whole new world when you get into import or front wheel drive racing or racing with a clutch, period. You know, you have so many more factors, such as being able to leave the line, how hard to slip the clutch, how not to break an axle, how not to break a transmission. There is so many things involved that everybody just watches videos of these guys that probably have $70,000 in the car, just drop the clutches and go at these races. It's not the real world. When you get these things, you're trying to do it with a weekend warrior budget, you know, your own money, it's not the same. So you have to learn how to drive these cars, and that's something he's having to do. He's doing a good job, just gonna take a little while. I threw him into the fire because we only had 2 weekends of the, you know, year left when we got to race these things. He did run a best of 11.8, I think at 125. And I did get in the car for the last run of the year. Of course, I've been running these cars for a long time. We wanted to see more what it was gonna do. Didn't have a perfect pass, but I made one pass in the car, went 10.8 at 135 miles per hour. So this is an epoxy block build. It was used by Chris Boyette. It was the guy that built the epoxy for these. We put a 1-inch thick insert of epoxy, drilled it all out like you would with the CSS, so it has all the water jackets. Car is doing really well. It is running on Honda S300. You know, I did tune the car, and so far so good. Car's running really well. You see the intercooler stuff underneath there. And again, we got some goals with this car. We're probably gonna this year just let him learn to drive the car. You know, maybe let him run some like 1150 classes. You know, go out on the weekends, maybe have a little more fun. But it is running a stock transmission, so we wouldn't hurt things just yet. Because you know, ran at 600 horsepower, you will start breaking things. So we know we're already close to that because 135 miles per hour don't come without some power being in a car. So I'm guessing the car was probably, you know, mid-high 500s, and you know, we're inching close to that 600 horsepower mark, and it will, you know, this setup will do almost 700 without a problem. We are adding a coil on plug set up to this. Matter of fact, that's why this car's in my shop right now, is I'm going to help out with that and get that coil and plug setup done. So either way, this car should be out this year. So if anybody's in the central Kentucky area, we're going to always be out on the weekends on the test and tune nights, and of course we'll also try to hit some of the local races, such as up in St. Louis, Missouri, maybe up Chicago. You know, we're going to try to do some of those spots. So I always enjoy, you know, doing these videos. You know, it's just purely for fun. It's educational. I want people to ask questions because I am a do-it-yourselfer. I do support my shops. You know, I do support places like Mad Scientist Auto. I'm gonna get that right. I speak too fast, get tongue-tied. You know, Humble Performance, Jason Waters Tuning. Those are all great companies. They are, you know, small business places that I enjoy doing business with, and they always seem to return the favor by always helping out when I need a helping hand doing things. Like I say, they know I'm a do-it-yourselfer, but they also always know that they want to try to help out, and they've always been there for me. So guys, as always, just enjoy your build, enjoy racing. If you see me at the track, make sure to say hello, and we'll see you out there next time. Happy racing.